Let's go do a quick upload extension. I just did a video on Brussels and the symbols, and I mentioned this particular, like you see, Christian with the two fingers pointed up, and touched on Mithraism. And again, you see that it's Palais de Justice, Palace of Justice in Brussels, and this particular symbol. We'll have a look at the Mithraic cults and how they are connected. We'll go back to okay, so the bull, slaughtering the bull, and the cults of Mithras, and just look at some of the connections, symbols. This is another relief again, slaying the bull. Again, the bull. Phrygian cap is important to notice, and I mentioned, done a video on funerary symbols. So we have the torch extended up, and we have a torch extended down. In funerals, I might notice the snake there, but for now, the torches now especially if you look at the more ornate tombstones, that type of stuff in cemeteries, you'll see a torch which is upside down. That's a symbol of life, of death, as where the torch upwards is a symbol of life. And okay, Artemis as well. We'll get to her in a moment, because it's the Hounds of Artemis, and the goddess of the hunt, Diana, also called Diana, the goddess of the hunt, and the moon goddess as well, sister of Apollo. Torch down, torch up again. Again, you'll see this symbol has been extended through into cemeteries now. Also the hounds, or the hound of Artemis, and you get see the crescent there. That's Artemis, or Diana, the goddess of the moon, goddess of the hunt. The Mithraic mysteries as well, so really important in Rome. You also notice the the zodiac around the outside, and there with the torch up, and the snake once again. Okay, we've seen those now. Sol Invictus, Constantine, who Christianized the Roman Empire, was also the high priest of the cult of Sol Invictus. Sol as in soul of a sun. Danubian horsemen. So the Mithraic cult, well, even, the columns there, the snake. The Mithraic cults come through Greece, but they're not actually, well, they don't appear to be Greek. They appear to be much older, and especially connected to the horsemen. So it was like a bit of a Vesica going on there as well. So again, these coupled. So here we see, again, Phrygian cap, the snake, the hound. He's wearing the Phrygian cap, slaughtering the bull. Apollo, the sun god, and Diana, the moon goddess. I mentioned that in just a previous upload in regards to Brussels, and how these Apollo and the Mithraic symbols, which is now said to be Christian, well, actually they're quite a bit older than that. The caduceus of Hermes, the two snakes around there, but also the torch is down, and this where we have the torch extended up. Here you can clearly see the moon goddess Diana / Artemis, and the sun god, her brother Apollo. So while we hear the temple, okay, so we have Symbolism. I was always trying to get. Now he's carrying, what's he carrying? The weight and the rod. Weights and measure symbolism. That's authority, power. Only the king, the leaders can bestow this, and they're also the judges, and accurate weights and measures, fundamentals to a civilization and to law. So just like everyone should have the same language, everyone should have the same weights and measures. Again, okay, there's the double fingers, which I mentioned earlier. So there's really no dispute about that. And there's Diana and Apollo, the Phrygian cap, and Symbolism, the hand. So that's been a bit destroyed, but we see the two fingers there as well. And the grotto of St. Paul at Ephesus. So St. Paul went to Ephesus to break up the Artemis cult. That's an important part in the Bible. He eventually got run off, but anyway. The two fingers once more. The Christian symbols have just been were absorbed from earlier cultures, and the same theme: the caduceus, sun and moon. Now in Athanasius Kirch's work, very important. So what do we have? We have Apollo, the sun god, Hermes wearing the traveller's hat once more, and the caduceus with the wings on there. We also have the Cyclops, the three helpers of Vulcan / Hephaestus there. But there, what do we have? This sculpture here, that's Artemis. And here is from the Temple of Artemis, where we have the acorns and Hermes as well. So these gods have just been sort of moved on and repositioned in different ways. So again, Artemis, Apollo, Caduceus of Hermes, another, the Tetragrammaton, the bird on the stick, which is I'm sure Chris will understand what I'm getting at. Parvo, which I mentioned again previous episodes. Quite a bit going on in this drawing, but again, the caduceus, the sun, and the moon as well. Ratio, quite a bit going on. If you look into Kershaw, he's done quite some very, very interesting things. And early depiction of Mithras was birthed from a rock, very similar to Sun Wukong. There's quite a bit connections there. Phrygian cap, and he was birthed, so he's got the torch upward, a symbol of life, as with a downward pointing torch is a symbol of death. Seen that hand of Basius again. The stepped, so the horseman of the steppe would appear to have passed this on to the Greeks, and so just like the Romans absorbed outside religions, so did the Greeks in many ways. That's again Sabasios, Phrygian cap, and here we have this Roman relief of Mithras, Sol Invictus Deo, the sun god, which Constantine was the sun god, Sol Invictus, and again the sun and the moon goddess. You even see the crescent there again, the hounds of the hunt, the slaughtering the bull. That's why this earlier see the knife there, and again the same theme sort of carry on, and they're in funeral symbols. And okay, here's an example. This is Monreale Cathedral in Sicily. What do we have there in the columns? Apart from the acanthus leaf, of course, we have Mithraic symbols once more. Again, just it's just been passed on, and that's where no points for guessing. It's it's very in your face, and it gets corrupted by those who really sort of attach. They see something like this, automatically evil, satanic or whatever. Well, no, not even close. The 153 fishes, for instance, in the Bible is a Hermetic text. It's full of the Pleiades, Orion, importance of weights and measures. 153, 273 Levites, 33 years old. It is an exquisite. You can take out a lot of the stuff. At its core, it's a Hermetic text, and you could just like the story of Noah, you could drop that into the Epic of Gilgamesh. You can, once you see these earlier gods, you realize the Bible is really just a retelling of much older pagan, evil, satanic sort of stuff as well. So if you're going to go down that road with Bible, Jesus, devil sort of stuff, well, come on, it's please, really, it's don't bring a wet sponge to a gunfight. So it's all here, and it's in there. It's just unfortunate certain. Again, a silver palmet with Mithras on there as well, and back to, again, those double fingers, which is this. Our modern weights and measures are not modern; they're ancient, and they're embedded in these types of depictions and stories. The scepter and the orb, the sun and the moon, the snake, the serpent. Again, just like it's been repackaged in the Old Testament story of creation. Grotto of St. Paul. So this guy here, basically, so you had the old Gnostic Christians, and this guy took over, and then Constantine, under his leadership, the Bible, which we know now, was rewritten, and many books were excluded, especially the Gnostic tradition. yeah, so sorry, I know I might offend, but your Bible is a corrupted text from Hermetic Gnostic traditions, which have completely different to what a lot of those early morning preachers and stuff talk about. They spew a lot of hate and a lot of ignorance, but they don't, well, it's all there. It's part of a historic record, and yeah, there it is: Sun, Moon, Hermes, Phrygian cap, the torches, the hound, the snake. It's all part, just like exactly like Noah is a rip-off, not even a rip-off, a homage to the Gilgamesh and Utnapishtim and the flood story told there, down to the use of weights, measures, and cubits. But again, the Bible full of Hermetic knowledge, Gnostic, and under the Sol Invictus of Constantine, the Roman emperor, who apparently converted to Christianity, but really just made Christianity the official religion of Rome to bring them all together under one God for political reasons. But he himself was a pagan. Christianity is pagan. That's just the 25th of December, where the Sol in Constantine, and the coin, Sol Invictus, the 7 diadems of the Statue of Liberty, but so many others as well. So anyway, there it is. If you look into these things, you'll find that there's quite, a long record. That's just not certain. Internet's historians will portray it as this sort of evil thing, and they're denying you knowledge. They will push you away from learning and to put you into dogma. And then we also have, the church itself is as dogmatic, and basically it's whole, for instance, the Catholic Church still now funds astronomy and physics, while to the lay person, what are they doing? They're promoting again this old stuff. So study, the truth shall set you free. Okay, that's even the Chariot of Apollo as well. So, it's all there. You can only do so much, and if you don't want to know, you don't want to know. If you do want to know, there it is. It's written in the symbols and the older texts, which were not given to the servile classes, which was preserved by the nobility. Okay, Mithras, it connects directly to the religious, architectural, so many other elements, even street plans. You can go down into minute detail. It's all there. Study, the truth shall set you free. Have a good one.